You know, as we get older, there's something that becomes more precious than gold: our peace of mind. After decades of giving our time, energy, and love to others, we've earned the right to protect our well-being. But sometimes, without even realizing it, we let certain people into our lives who drain us emotionally, financially, or even spiritually. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's this: not everyone deserves a seat at your table, especially in your golden years. So today, let's talk about 4 types of people you might want to think twice about helping if you want to safeguard your peace and happiness. This isn't about being unkind, it's about setting healthy boundaries so you can enjoy the life you've worked so hard to build. Now, the first type might surprise you because, on the surface, they seem harmless. I'm talking about the chronic complainer. You know the one: every conversation is a laundry list of problems, but they never take steps to fix anything. They call you just to vent, and by the time you hang up, you feel exhausted, as if their negativity has seeped into your own mood. Here's the thing: empathy is a beautiful quality, but when someone uses you as their emotional dumping ground, it starts to take a toll. At our age, we don't have endless energy to spare. It's okay to listen to a friend in need, but if every interaction leaves you feeling drained, it might be time to gently redirect the conversation or limit those calls. Your peace is too valuable to be weighed down by someone else's perpetual storms. Next, let's talk about the opportunistic relative. This one stings a bit because family is everything, but sometimes, even family members can take advantage of your generosity. Maybe it's the grandchild who only calls when they need money, or the cousin who always has a favor that somehow turns into a long-term obligation. You've worked hard your whole life, and there's nothing wrong with wanting to help. But when your help is expected rather than appreciated, when it becomes a one-way street, that's when you need to pause. True love doesn't come with strings attached, and real family respects your boundaries. It's okay to say no, to protect your savings, your time, and your emotional well-being. You don't owe anyone an explanation for prioritizing yourself. Now, before we move on, I want you to think about someone in your life who fits either of these descriptions. Maybe you've been feeling guilty about pulling back, but here's the truth: setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. And as we go through the next 2 types, you'll start to see just how important it is to guard your peace in this season of life. So, let's keep going, because the next 2 might hit even closer to home. Now, the third type of person you might want to be cautious about helping is the emotionally manipulative friend. This one can be tricky because they often disguise their behavior as love or concern. They might say things like, "After all I've done for you," or "If you really cared, you'd help me with this." They know just how to make you feel guilty for saying no. Maybe it's a longtime friend who always seems to need rescuing from a financial bind, a family dispute, or even their own poor decisions. And each time, they pull you in with a sob story, making you feel like you're the only one who can fix things. But here's the hard truth: some people don't want solutions, they just want enablers. They'll keep returning to you because they know you'll say yes. At this stage in life, you deserve relationships that are based on mutual respect, not obligation. If someone only values you for what you can do for them, it's okay to step back. Real friends don't keep score, and they certainly don't weaponize your kindness. Now, let's talk about the 4th type, the perpetually irresponsible adult child. This one is especially tough because as parents, we always want to support our kids. But there's a big difference between helping in a crisis and constantly bailing out a grown child who refuses to take responsibility for their own life. Maybe it's the son who can't hold down a job but always needs just a little loan to cover rent. Or the daughter who leaves the grandkids with you every weekend while she goes out, even though you've already raised your own children. It's natural to want to help, but when does helping become enabling? Here's the thing: by always swooping in to fix their problems, you might unintentionally be preventing them from learning resilience. And worse, you could be sacrificing your own retirement savings, health, or happiness in the process. Loving your children doesn't mean setting yourself on fire to keep them warm. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is let them figure things out on their own. Now, I know this isn't easy to hear. These situations are messy, emotional, and deeply personal. But the common thread here is this: your well-being matters. You've spent decades caring for others. Now it's your turn to protect your peace. In the next part, we'll talk about how to set these boundaries with kindness and strength, because it's not just about who you say no to, it's about how you say yes to yourself. Now that we've talked about the 4 types of people who can drain your peace in later life, let's focus on what really matters: how to protect your well-being without guilt or regret. Because here's the beautiful truth: setting boundaries isn't about shutting people out. It's about making room for the relationships and activities that truly nourish your soul. So how do you start? First, practice the power of a gentle but firm no. You don't need long explanations or justifications. A simple "I'm not able to help with that this time" is enough. If someone pushes back, remember, their reaction is not your responsibility. You've spent a lifetime being considerate of others' feelings. Now it's time to be just as considerate of your own. Another key step is redirecting conversations that drain you. When the chronic complainer starts venting, try shifting the topic. That sounds tough. So tell me, what's something good that happened this week? If they keep circling back to negativity, it's okay to say, "I've got to go. Let's talk again soon," when things feel lighter. You'll be amazed at how much energy you reclaim. For family members who expect too much, consider setting clear limits up front. Instead of an open-ended "call me if you need anything," try "I can help with groceries on Tuesdays, but I need the rest of the week for my own schedule." This keeps your generosity from becoming an endless demand. The most important shift? Start viewing self-protection as wisdom, not selfishness. That friend who always needs rescuing? They'll find another way. People always do. That adult child who keeps making poor choices? They'll grow stronger when given the chance to solve their own problems. And you? You'll wake up with more energy, more joy, and more space for the people who give as much as they take. As we wrap up, I want you to imagine your peace of mind as a beautiful garden you've tended for years. Some plants need careful pruning. Others might need to be removed entirely so the rest can thrive. It's not cruel, it's necessary for everything else to bloom. So here's my challenge for you this week: pick one area where you've been overextending yourself and try a small but firm boundary. Notice how it feels. You might be surprised at how quickly your spirit feels lighter. Because you've earned this, years filled with laughter instead of obligation, with contentment instead of resentment. The secret to happiness in our later years isn't about how much we give others, it's about wisely protecting what we need to keep our own hearts full. Now I'd love to hear from you. Have you had to set boundaries with someone in your life? What worked for you? Share your stories in the comments below. Your experience could help someone else find their courage. And if this resonated with you, hit that like button and subscribe for more conversations about thriving in our golden years. Remember, your peace is precious. Guard it like the treasure it is. Here's to living these years exactly how you choose, with joy, with intention, and with the freedom that comes from putting yourself first for a change.